Good morning, mathematicians. Today, we are going to look at finding the area of missing side lengths. The other day, you worked on your extended division facts, and today we're going to use that knowledge to get some more practice. But we're going to see our extended facts in a different way. So let's take a look here at our example. And remember that in order to find your area, we need to make sure that we multiply length times width. But using this formula here and knowing this formula, we're going to use this to figure out if we're given one side, how to find out the other side. And maybe we're doing what we call the opposite of multiplication would be. We would do division. So let's take a look here at our example and keeping our length times width in mind. And to remember, our length is how long something is, and our width is going to be how wide something is. And then the area is going to be everything in between here, okay? So let's read our warm-up problem. A rectangular garden has an area of 450 square feet. One side is 9 feet long. How long is the other side? Label the rectangle below to model the problem. Well, here's where we're going to have to use what we know. We've got 450 square feet, and then we've got one side being 9 feet long, and then we don't know what the other side is. So I'm going to put my area as 450 feet inside, and I'm going to put my little feet squared. And then one side is 9 feet long, so I'm going to put my 9 feet over here. And I'm going to put a letter S for side, since we're missing that one. What we need to think about is what equation would we use to find out that missing side length, since we're already given this area? Well, what I would need to do is do some division. I would need to think about, I know it's 450, and I'm going to divide by 9. And that is going to equal S. So my equation would look like something like this. I could also write it as multiplication. I could think about doing 9 times S equals 450. These are two different ways that you can write your equation. Either one would work and you would get the same answer. So thinking about our knowledge of basic facts, or of our division facts, I'm going to think about, well, I have my 45 and I have my 9. And if I divide that, I get 5. But then I have to remember that I have my 0 here. So my answer would be 50 feet. And one way to check this is to think about, well, if I put my 50 here and I do 50 times 9, I would get 450. Let's take a look at another example. An ice skating rink is 70 feet in length and has an area of 5,600 square feet. What is the width of the ice skating rink? Label the rectangle below to model the problem. So we do not want to forget to label, since it asks us to do that. And let's find what we know. We have 70 feet in length and an area of 5,600 square feet. We are looking for our width. Okay, so I know our width is here. That's our missing side. I know my area is 5,600 square feet. And I know I have a 70 feet here. So thinking about how we would label this, using an equation, there's two ways. Our first way is we can think about it we know our area and our missing side, and equals W. So 5,600 divided by 70 equals W. Or we could do 70 times W equals 5,600. So if we divide these, we'll think about our basic fact here. 56 divided by 7 gets me 8. So my width equals 8, but then I need to think about my zeros. Well, I know my answer, 5,600, has 2 zeros, and I have a 0 there. They kind of almost, one of them cancels each other out. So I need to have at least 1 0. And let's do the reverse. Let's see if it checks out. If I do 70 times 80, do I get 5,600? I certainly do, because I have my 2 zeros. And I, of course, cannot forget to label my units here. So today, you're going to be getting some practice on your journal page here, journal page 193. And it's going to look something like this. So let's take a look, and we'll do number 1 together, and then you will finish up the rest of the page as well as your math boxes. And if you notice, your math boxes even has, for number 2, a very similar example to what you've been doing. So let's take a look here. So what is the length of side D? You have your equation with unknowns, so they actually give you the information. So you can write it as a multiplication problem, or you can write it as a division problem. I'm going to stick with division. Let's do 720 divided by 9 equals, and make sure, because you have an unknown, you have that D there. They give you that letter. And so thinking about your basic facts, well, 72 and 9. So if I know 72 divided by 9, that gets me 8. And I have a 0, so I need to make sure that I have 80 feet. Okay. So you are going to get some more practice with the rest of the page, and making sure that here for number 3, the library has rectangular tables in many sizes. Using the information given, complete the chart. So think about, if table A has a length of 5, you're trying to find out the width, and the area of that is 30. B, they've given you the area and the width, but you need to find the length, and so on. All right, mathematicians, off you go.